When we come back, how Pete Buttigieg brushed off expertly a far-right Republican congressman's bizarre question about President Joe Biden and the 25th Amendment. Our panel will weigh in after a quick break. Don't go anywhere.
Sadly, he shakes hands with ghosts and imaginary people. He falls off bicycles. So my question for you is, sir, have you spoken with any other cabinet members about implementing the 25th Amendment on President Biden?
First of all, I'm glad to have a president who can ride a bicycle. And
That's your
I
question.
will look beyond the insulting nature of that question and make clear to you that the president of the United States...
Have you spoken to any other cabinet members about implementing the 25th Amendment on President Biden?
Of course not.
The line of questioning didn't go as planned for that far-right Republican guy. With trademark wit and a direct response, Pete Buttigieg shut it down. But it shouldn't distract us from the fact that this isn't a one-off. The smear that the Republican congressman used in this faux cordial infrastructure hearing with huge blown-up photos of President Joe Biden that must have cost a fortune at Kinko's to try to embarrass President Biden for political purposes, to get himself a soundbite on Fox News, is something to pay attention to. It's another banner moment for today's GOP. Let's bring in former Republican Congressman David Jolly, national chairman of the Serve America Movement, and Aaron Haynes, editor-at-large of the 19th. Both are MSNBC contributors. So, David Jolly, we had some squeamishness about amplifying the Republican, but what's really important is that Pete Buttigieg just gave a masterclass in how to shut it down. You know, no, we've never discussed the 25th Amendment. I know 7 books were written by this point in Trump's presidency about how his entire cabinet had whipped votes and considered doing so. But at least my guy can get on a bike and doesn't have to take a golf cart around a world summit.
No, that's exactly right, Nicole. Joe Biden is not the president who suggested injecting bleach into your arms, nor asking the question, could we blow up hurricanes? He's not the person who tried to commit a grievance harm on our very republic. All matters which would raise legitimate questions about the 25th Amendment. But I think, look, Joe Biden is 79. He's not 39. But voters knew that when they elected him. There's nothing tangibly different between candidate Biden and President Biden. And so the questioning by the very junior congressman from Texas who must have waited 4 hours to get to ask that question of Buttigieg was nothing more than just a cheap shot. And I think you hit it exactly right, Nicole. The remarkable thing is we were reminded of what a remarkable political actor and presence that Mayor Pete, Secretary Buttigieg really is, and why he was not only a contender for the presidency, but very likely will be in the future. The grace, the poise, the command, and the ability to turn around the nonsense on the questioner, a perfect moment for Mayor Pete.
I respect and revere Michelle Obama, Aaron Haynes, as much as I think she's the most admired woman in America. But I was recently at a gathering with a lot of Democrats, and a person said that we lost our way when we followed her advice that said when they go low, we go high. That you can't beat Republicans on the high road because you can't find them there. They don't even know where it is anymore. And so to fight these fights where they're taking place is important. Where do you come down on that?
Well, I think we saw today where Mayor Pete comes down on it, which is when they go low, we're having none of it. I mean, we're discussing the 25th Amendment, obviously, because it was a topic during that recent January 6th hearing when we heard about GOP lawmakers, to your earlier point, Nicole, openly mulling whether to invoke the law against the former president when, in the face of repeated evidence that the election was accurate, safe, and secure, he continued to repeat the big lie. He rejected the idea that the election was not rigged and promoted that to his voters. And so enter Representative Nels, who must have missed, by the way, Secretary Buttigieg's remarks on a recent Fox News appearance when he was asked about his husband Chasten's tweet about Justice Kavanaugh being interrupted during dinner by that protest. He manages to, take that Fox News host to task while also bringing up administration talking points about the consequences of the Dobbs decision. So Pete Buttigieg was not taking the bait today. As the youngest member of this administration in the cabinet, the youngest ever transportation secretary, and by the way, somebody who is nearly twice as young as his boss, referred to President Biden as the most vigorous boss or colleague he's ever worked with. So, I think that answered the question.
Yeah, I mean, David Jolly, it does bring you back to what is a vital lesson, though, in politics, that you have to be deflecting and combating the lies about you from today's GOP, which has an entire propaganda infrastructure that the left does not have. I mean, they still have a liar in chief in Donald Trump, who even in exile, deplatformed in Mar-a-Lago, is still calling all the shots. They have a grand poobah disinformation chief in Tucker Carlson, and it is pumped out all across the country. So when Pete Buttigieg can't do all the smacking back and knocking down of the lies, what do you advise Democrats to do ahead of the midterms to push back?
I think Secretary Buttigieg showed Democrats how to handle this. And I would suggest there's no tension between what Secretary Buttigieg did and what First Lady Obama suggested, because we're living in different eras. And the truth is, as the Obamas were serving, yes, you had all these new media platforms emerging, but they were in their youth still. What is available to right-wing Republicans, conspiracy theorists, authoritarian, anti-democratic sitting members of Congress, and other purveyors of mistruths is our platforms, media platforms, where those mistruths go unchecked. That is appreciably different than when Michelle Obama made her comment. And so because of that, I don't believe you can let it go unchecked. Now, there are ways to do it with grace and intelligence, and that's what you saw from Secretary Buttigieg. I think Michelle Obama's admonition is right. You don't have to get dirty, but that doesn't mean you have to accept the mistruths that Republicans are laying out on the body politic right now.